Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having a really amazing weekend. We had lots of rain here at the house this week, and it's meant that the grass is growing very quickly. Hopefully by the time you watch this, I will have found some time to cut the grass, because I've been trying not to, but now it's getting to the point where it's really quite long and I really should do something about it. Check out these apples. I've forgotten what variety these are. These are on our dwarf apple tree, and they're still growing, and very few of them. We've got a little bit of a scab on that one, but most of them do not want to come off. Oh, there you go. That one does. They are quite firm, and I think these might be cookers. But anyway, they smell pretty nice. And the fact that we're still having fruit, even though our other apples have long gone, our blackberries have long gone, is frankly really nice. Things in the garden are really starting to wind down now, but I did want to show you that my parsnips are still coming along very strongly. I still have some potatoes. Look in here. Those are some rocket seeds. I need to deal with these. I'm collecting these seeds. I'm going to use these next year. Hopefully I'll collect them before they pop, but these are for arugula or rocket, depending on which country you're in. But down here you'll see we've got some healthy potatoes. I'm just letting them grow. I know there's been a lot of rain this week, but it may or may not include some blight there, but I'm just going to let them grow and see what happens. Also over here, we have some carrots that are starting to poke up, so that's great. And look at these parsnips. There's still huge numbers of parsnips growing. They are looking amazing, and they're tasting even better. In terms of temperatures up here in the foothills, the temperature is starting to drop. I think it's going to get down to about maybe 5 or 6 degrees Celsius this weekend. So by the time you've watched this, we've probably had a bit of a drop in temperature because it's been so cloudy and we've had so much rain. The temperatures haven't been as low as they might be, but that's still really cool. I do want to show you some of my fuchsias are doing really well. We've got some lovely fuchsia flowers. They're kind of going off now because there's been so much water, but everything is still doing really well in terms of the fuchsia growth this year. The geraniums in the greenhouse are doing okay. They're getting ready for change of season. I think that's probably the best way of putting it. And the chickens are enjoying not having any rain. So the other day they were very upset because all they could see was rain. But now they're quite happy, and they're digging in the garden and getting all of the lovely worms that tend to come to the surface when we get water. And Ashley and everybody else in the chicken village, they're all starting to molt. So they've all stopped producing eggs really at the moment, but they're still very much enjoying some nice weather. Now, in the greenhouse, I wish we had smell-o-vision, because it's just got this glorious smell of tomatoes. And I think this weekend I'm going to have to go through and I'm going to have to actually remove some of the leaves from these tomatoes, because as you can see, we've got so many tomatoes that are starting to ripen and come through. And if I don't get these tomatoes ripened soon, that's one right there, look. If we don't get these ripened soon, then bad things will happen and we won't have a full harvest of tomatoes. So I need to go through, I need to remove some of the flowers because they're not going to produce any fruit at this time of the season. But because this greenhouse is nice and large, we've got a really good warm, it's really warm in here, it's really nice. So we've got lots of warmth and it's really doing good things. I'm just trying to decide if that tomato is ready to be picked, and I think it is, so let's do that. Some tomatoes right over here, look at these. Oops, these guys right here. I'm actually gonna take them off like that. Look at that. Got some lovely red ones, and I'm going to be a little cheeky. I don't think this one is completely ready, but maybe. There you go. That one will ripen off inside. Those are some of my pasta style tomatoes. Everything is just getting very, very tasty. The other reason why I want to clear off some of those leaves is because when I have tomatoes that go ripe underneath and I can't see them, they pop, and then they'll sow seeds for next year, and I don't want tomatoes growing here next year. I want to actually use a different type of tomato. I want to grow cucumbers here next year, and possibly peppers. So look at that, all those tomatoes just ready to be picked. Tomatoes and apples. I know we covered that a couple of weeks ago, but that's basically where we're at. If I look a little distracted today, it's because I am being very careful not to show the new project vehicle that is here at the moment, because I don't want to spoil that for the rest of the people watching this. I don't want to spoil it for next week on the channel. So I am working very hard not to show that off. I think the last of our beans have come. I don't think we've harvested them all yet, but I think by the time you will be watching this, I will have harvested the majority of the beans. And I've been turning my attention to kind of some cover crops and what I want to grow over the winter. And some of the cover crops, I would love to do some winter barley. I would love to do some clover. They add a lot of nutrients to the soil. They help prevent weeds and generally prepare the ground for next season. So I'm going to give that some thought. I haven't come up with a final decision yet, but I'm sure I will very soon. One thing that I love at this time of year is the final raspberries, and let me show you this. The final raspberries of the season are here, and the other raspberries, they go off really quickly, so you just get these last ones. They're not ripe yet. They may not go ripe. It may get too cold for them to go ripe, but you can see just big, red, bright berries kind of everywhere. My squashes are doing great. Let me show you these here. The biggest squash I have is this one right here. You can see that one right there. That is looking great. I have a smaller one hiding there, and then I have another one right here, and that one I think is soon going to be ready. It's got a little bit more colouring to go, but then it will be a lovely butternut squash, and I can make some butternut squash soup or something to keep me happy through the winter. Unfortunately, my plan of hoping that the whitefly would disappear off the broccoli and the sprouts didn't actually happen. They've lessened their numbers, but they haven't completely gone. So I'm kind of sad about that. Of course, the other thing I need to do before it gets too cold is to actually weed my strawberry patch. My strawberries are in a mess. And then I need to put some straw over the strawberries to protect them and mulch them ready for next year. That worked really well last year. I don't know if it's something that I'm going to have time to do this year. And I've also started to suffer, and apologies if this is TMI, I've started to suffer some problems with my blood pressure. So getting healthier and fitter is lovely. I've enjoyed having all of the health benefits of being lighter, and I had a medical checkup this week, and everything is back where it should be pretty much, with the exception of one or two things. But my blood pressure is really not very happy because of the medication I'm on, which I call my don't die medication, because it literally stops me from developing a really nasty arrhythmia and dying. It also has the side effect of lowering my heart rate and lowering my blood pressure. And when I bend over, I've been passing out, which has not been any fun. So I've been kind of really neglectful of doing kind of the weeding and getting that stuff done. I'm hoping though that I will get some time in the coming week or so to be able to do that. We've got some press cars coming, so I know that's going to be fun. And that means we don't have to worry so much about making other content. So that will be cool as well. Anyway, let me know what's going on in your garden. I would love to know, as usual. Tell me what's growing, what's not, what are you harvesting? What are you looking forward to in the next few weeks? If you want more from this channel, of course, don't forget to hit the bell and follow the links below to regularly support us with a YouTube membership or a Patreon subscription. And you can do that for both this channel and obviously for the main channel as well. You'll also find links below to our Ko-fi, our Bitcoin and our swag store, as well as our Mastodon server, which is a great fun place to hang out and talk to myself and the rest of the team. Scrolling on my right is a list of amazing charged up supporters, and if you are not on the list, I know several of you are not, including Neil, who reached out and told us, and I'm very sorry that your names are not on the list. We've been really, really busy. We've been trying to solve some bugs with our automatic generation setup, and we've been away, and there's lots of other things happening, and I'm sorry, it's just excuses, but hopefully we're going to change that very soon and we'll make it a little bit more reliable. But if you are a subscriber on Patreon and you've joined recently, or you're not on the list for some other reason, just know that you rock and we're very grateful for your support. Shout outs go out to our VGG Patreon supporters, Alan Tupper, Andrew Martin, Bennett Elder, Brophy Wolf, Chris Maxwell, Cyprian Laplace, Dan Blair, Gordon C, Hey Esker, John Tramal, Carl Fox, Mark Eggleton, Peter Dillinger, Raging Fellows, Sean Tucker, Stefan Fremgen, Stephen Williams, Taslet in the Gong, Paul Bricknell, Tony Moss, Carl Hodgson, Chris Centaur, Denny Hyde, Lance Schlall, Linda Irish, Mike Weeder and Paul Nelson. And finally, big thanks to our off-grid supporters. They are Paul Conway, Kevin Burridge, Stephen O'Donoghue, Jim Burness, Robert Flannery, Aaron Hahn, Ellery Hansley, Rory Litwin, JP Fagerback, Dave Kitchen, Andrew Glenn, Clay Witt, where have we got to? Anonymous Freak, Chris and Michael Johnson, CPU Freak 101, Eric Knack, Joe Bresney, John Henderson, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobnak, Nigel S, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin, and of course Ian. Sorry, I couldn't read the list there for some reason. Don't forget that we make videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday on the main channel, and then on a Sunday you can come and join me for the chicken and garden update, which is what you've just watched, and the Sunday musing, which this week is about changing the rules of the road. Whatever you enjoy next, I hope your weekend is a great one, and until next time, keep evolving.